Right now on Apple Valley News Now in Primetime, our On Your Side exclusive investigation into problems in historic downtown Kennewick. From theft to fires, Monique Ledesma's full story is ahead. Plus,
each side has an opportunity to provide a brief of why they feel either the recall should be upheld or it should not be upheld.
Mabton's mayor back in court today facing a possible recall. Our Emily Goodell has that story. Then it has been a very busy Monday on our roadways. We're tracking a number of serious crashes. Stacy?
And a beautiful evening. I know it's fall, feeling more like summer. I'll break all the details down for you coming up.
This is Apple Valley News Now, Primetime on your side.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us after the game. I'm Austin Reed. It's Monday, September 23rd. We are going to start with developing news tonight. Fire crews were dispatched yet again within the last hour for a smoke investigation at the facility building at Hanford High School in Richland. This is now the third time crews were called to the same spot in the last 48 hours. Fire crews tonight say they will be there on site for a number of hours to monitor the situation. Arson is not suspected. The issue firefighters and the school district believe has to do with electrical issues. Stay with us for updates both on air and online at applevalleynewsnow.com. Let's get a first look at our weather now. Fall officially arrived on Sunday. Stacy Lee joining us now. It's very warm still. Will that be the story all week, though, Stace?
Not all week, but yeah, our first full official day of fall, and it was in the 80s, just under 90 degrees. Warm temperatures continue right on through Wednesday. Here's our temp right now in our Apple Valley studio cam, 77 degrees, winds at 6 miles per hour. That sunset is getting earlier and earlier each day. Other temperatures around the area still nice and warm outside. Most of us still in the 70s and those upper 60-degree temps. Temperature trend, we're staying up just like today. Even warmer tomorrow, slightly cooler Wednesday, and then we'll get down to below average or right around our average of 77 in Yakima and Walla Walla. So those 80-degree temps and even 90-degree temps tomorrow in some of our areas. So mild night with cool temperatures. Hot Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll see some breezy and gusty winds developing on Wednesday that could increase our fire danger. However, we also are going to see some showers through the area, and get ready a little later this week. We're going to have really cool overnight lows. I'll tell you all about it coming up. Austin?
Stacy, thank you. Back-to-back fires in downtown Kennewick quickly turns into the discovery of something much more. While at the scene of the second fire behind a business on August 29th, the business owner approached Apple Valley News Now's Monique Ledesma. What she learned that night is part of an ongoing bigger problem. But what is the city doing to help stop the issues there that these business owners are facing? Monique says that is also a complicated issue.
Good evening, everyone. This is a story I've been tracking down for several weeks. I met with business owners downtown. I met with the Historic Downtown Kennewick Association. I talked with Police Chief Chris Guerrero with the Kennewick Police Department. And I also tried to get answers from members of the City Council as well as the mayor. Here's what I found out. Ken Day is owner of Dayco Heating and Air Conditioning on North Auburn Street. It's a business that has been part of the downtown historic Kennewick area since 1999. Day says he was born and raised in the Tri-Cities, but over the past few years, he says Kennewick is changing, and now so does the way he does business.
The vagrants, the homeless downtown, now we have to keep our doors locked during normal business hours, and customers have to either call or knock on the door to come in because those other people would just walk in.
It's not just people coming into his business randomly. His property is also getting destroyed.
We've also run into problems with graffiti down here. People, I don't know how I'll put it, but using the alley as a bathroom, 1 and 2. And the city won't do nothing about it. We'd call them, and they're like, oh, the alley, it's yours, you got to clean them up.
On August 29th, Day once again returned to his store after hours upon hearing his dumpster had been set on fire. the third time he's had to deal with this.
In reality, it really bothers me. I've actually looked to relocate in several times. I've looked at properties in other areas to, just so my staff can be safe. So it upsets me, it frustrates me.
But there have been fires started in dumpsters over the course of the last couple of months, this just being the most recent.
Stephanie Button is the executive director of Historic Downtown Kennewick. She sees the frustration building with every business owner on the issues the downtown area is facing. She says it's a vibrant place for people, but it's disheartening when you have people trying to knock down what they have tried so hard to build.
It's frustrating. We put so much of our heart into this. We're a great place to be and visit. So it's really discouraging when you have accidents or perhaps bad actors causing mischief.
They thought using surveillance cameras would help deter crime, but the only thing that happened was they got torn down and thrown away. Kennewick Police Chief Chris Guerrero says his department knows about the problems business owners are facing, but doesn't seem confident something can be done at this time.
I think the biggest thing that can happen is people to understand there is no one solution right now. And that is why, as a nation, we are struggling with this problem. It's a societal issue, right? It's a quality of life issue, not only for those who are unhoused, but our citizens as well.
Chief Guerrero says his department works with local resources to help people struggling with homelessness.
We utilize people from Three Rivers Therapy. We utilize Benton Franklin Housing, Health and Housing, all mental health services. They go out with us to contact folks to provide those services.
But Day says him and other business owners continue to suffer losses. He wants to know why there isn't a working solution in place.
You just don't see the presence of the law enforcement like we used to. They're not driving down the alleys. They're not coming down here. And so the question has to be, what's going on with the city?
Every Thursday, an officer of ours dresses down in plain clothes and goes out with service providers and contacts the unhoused, provides them all kinds of services, supplies, different needs they may have.
But to business owners like Day, it sounds like all the help is going to the ones causing problems, not to the businesses that are the livelihood of the citizens of Kennewick.
I don't know what's going on with the city, if they just don't care about downtown no more, or even with the police. I respect the police 100%, but has the city given them less resources?
That is a question I wanted to talk with the city officials about. I reached out to the city on September 4th. They put me in touch with Dana Dollarhide, who is the lead communication specialist for the city of Kennewick. I asked Dollarhide if she could arrange for me to interview members of the city council or the mayor on the issues happening downtown. However, I was told all council members, the mayor, and the city manager's schedules were packed for the rest of the week. I asked Chief Guerrero if there were any resources the city could provide to help KPD with the ongoing problems.
The city looks to us and asks for ideas. What are areas that we have needs with? And we continually, at this moment, are talking the most about, and the city has been very supportive in, the building of the recovery center.
He says a barrier the city is currently facing is waiting for the recovery center to be up and running.
We've received great state support from our local legislators on providing funding to make that a reality. Our city, they're always asking, and I would have no doubt if we had a need, they would supply it.
I reached out again to Dollarhide on September 16th. When I didn't hear back that day, I reached out again on the morning of September 17th, asking for a council member or the mayor to talk about the ongoing problems. I received an email back from Dollarhide who said, in part, "Our police chief is the subject matter expert on these issues. The chief is deeply involved in both the public safety and the community outreach efforts regarding homelessness, and he has the most up-to-date information on any actions being taken in this area and throughout the city."
I really just want answers for them to not throw their hands up as like, here's what we're doing. Here's our plan to make it better down here. Because they talk about the Historic Downtown Association wanting to grow it, but we really don't see anything going on.
I had tried for 3 weeks to talk to an elected official on the problems the business owners are facing downtown, and I wanted to make sure they all knew I had been wanting to talk with them. At the Kennewick City Council meeting on September 17th, I got up to speak during public comment so I could let the council know I had been trying to talk to them.
I'm asking members of the City Council to meet with me after the council meeting tonight so I can ask what the elected officials are doing to help these business owners. Do you know what's going on in your backyard? Thank you for your time. I will be waiting after the council meeting to see if anyone of you are interested in talking with me more about this subject.
During council's final comments at the end of the meeting, it appeared Mayor Greta Crawford was finally willing to comment on the questions I had.
Downtown area not being addressed for crime and business owners not being addressed. And I will tell you, I was on the HDKB board for several years, and I know Councilmember McShane is now, and there may be one or two business owners down there that might have that feeling in that way, but downtown Kennewick does have a priority, but all areas have a priority.
I waited after the meeting. Councilmember John Trumbo approached me after asking for the names of the people he could talk to, but declined to answer questions in an on-camera interview. Councilmember Lauren Anderson told me he would talk with me and asked me to set up an appointment. I contacted him last Wednesday, but I haven't yet received a response. Chief Guerrero says when it comes to a solution, it's not something that will happen overnight.
So the right answer, I think everybody has yet to find it. I think the way we'll get there the fastest is dealing with each individual where they're at.
I reached out to the city of Kennewick one last time last Thursday morning. I wanted to ask Mayor Crawford what plan, if any, the council was working on to help businesses downtown, since that one question had not been answered by the chief or the council. I was told she is unfortunately too busy and could not meet. At this time, it's unclear what business owners like Ken Day can do to keep his employees and property safe outside of calling police sometimes after the damage has already been done. For Apple Valley News Now, I'm Monique Ledesma. Back to you.
All right, Monique, thank you for that. Turning to our other headlines of the night, a shooting in Union Gap early this morning leaves a man in the hospital and the shooter still on the run from authorities. Police say the call came in just after midnight to the area of South 7th Avenue and Whitman Street for reports of gunfire. The victim was shot several times in the leg, arm, and stomach, requiring surgery. His condition is still unknown, but according to police, the shooter's identity and motive are also unknown. The investigation is still active. If you have any information, contact the Union Gap Police Department. The investigation continues tonight after Pasco police say 2 juveniles attempted to steal alcohol from Fiesta Foods in Pasco. When confronted, one even threatened to shoot an employee and gestured as she had a handgun. Officers say the duo did return most items, but took some beer cans and fled in a Cadillac Escalade. The teens were later involved in a short pursuit with Kennewick PD. One of them was apprehended, and the vehicle was towed for evidence. The arrested juvenile was booked for robbery, and the search continues for the other teen. Call Pasco or Kennewick PD. If you know anything, nobody was hurt. Well, we have a new video into the Apple Valley News Now newsroom tonight of an afternoon crash on Interstate 182 in Pasco. Just before 3 p.m., traffic started backing up big time on the westbound side of the interstate near Queensgate and Keene Roads. While our crews were there, we noticed one white vehicle, an unmarked utility truck with heavy front-end damage. A tow vehicle was also in the roadway with what looked to be a lot of yard tools. No word yet if anybody was seriously hurt, but that investigation will continue. WashDOT in Yakima says a car crash involving a garbage truck caused major backups on Interstate 82 near SR 24 around 1 p.m. today. Troopers say a large amount of oil was spilled on the roadway when crews arrived on scene. Both westbound lanes were closed while troopers worked to get the garbage truck towed. At this time, injuries are unknown. And the Kennewick Police Department says multiple vehicles, including this ambulance, crashed near Steptoe earlier this morning. The call for help came in just before 6 a.m. in the northbound lanes of Steptoe Street between Gage Boulevard and Center Parkway. According to KPD, at least 2 people were transported to the hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. Police say the driver of a sedan fell asleep while driving and veered into the oncoming lanes. New this evening, not so good news from the Tri-Cities Animal Shelter. There's an upper respiratory infection spreading through the dogs at the shelter. According to officials, they have put all the dogs under quarantine and closed the dog runs. All adoptions are now suspended and they are not taking any new dogs. There are steps now, including some things that you can do to prevent the virus from spreading into the community. The shelter dogs are being treated by its veterinary team, and when test results come back tomorrow, they will have more information and find out how you can best care for them. Coming up on Apple Valley News Now in prime time, a former Republican governor of Washington State has passed away. Plus, only Apple Valley News Now is continuing to follow the story of Mabton's mayor who appeared in court. Emily Goodell will bring us up to date. And Stacy will return. She'll have your new work week first alert weather forecast. We'll be right back.
Look, here's a phone company who wants us to use our phones less.
That's ironic.
Yeah, but in a good way. Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us. It's a free ride, but I already paid.
If you'd rather be here or here instead of here, then you gotta start here with Honda, the most trusted brand on the road according to KBB.com. Honda's also the best deal on the road 10 years in a row. And that includes the award-winning Honda Passport and Honda Pilot, both winners of Car and Driver's Editor's Choice Award. And right now, well-qualified buyers can get the Honda Pilot with 2.9% APR financing. For details, see your Southeastern Washington Honda dealer.
Board-certified family medicine provider Dr. Michael Adling is now caring for patients of all ages at Prosser Memorial Health's Benton City Clinic. His services include annual physicals and preventative care, well child exams, the treatment of cold and flu, acute illnesses, and more. To schedule an appointment with Dr. Adling, call the Benton City Clinic at 509-588-4075. Or to learn more about his services, visit prosserhealth.org. This is how we care.
You love the internet. But do you love your internet? Is your bundle a bundle of joy? Do you celebrate your contract's anniversary? No? You should meet Ziply Fiber. High-speed fiber optic internet means more freedom, more reliability, more speed on all your family's devices, all at the same time. Happily ever faster. Ziply Fiber. Call 1-888-GO-ZIPLY or visit ziplyfiber.com/GoZiply. Plans as low as $10 a month.
Hot tub, hot tub, hot tub. Major manufacturers and warehouses clearance of new 2024 inventory. Friday through Sunday. Hapo Center, Pasco. Over 100 hot tubs on display and everything must go. New 2024 inventory. Hot tubs starting at $29.95. All inventory 40 to 80% off. Come see the revolutionary swim spa in action and save up to 60%. Trade-ins welcome. Free delivery. We'll even haul away your old hot tub. Worry-free installation. 18-month interest-free financing. Millions of dollars of inventory must be sold. Hapo Center, Pasco. Free admission. Free parking. Call 833-SPA-SALE.
Your Social Security disability claim has been denied, and you don't understand why.
Your physical or mental condition makes it impossible for you to work.
Don't give up. Social Security isn't always right.
I've helped more people win disability benefits than any other attorney in Central Washington. If you can't work, let us go to work to get you benefits.
Call 509-584-4411 for a free consultation. Bothwell and Hamill.
U.S. Cellular has the incredible new iPhone 16 Pro.
The first iPhone built for Apple Intelligence.
Spread the word.
And don't forget camera control. It'll blow you away.
Get the new iPhone 16 Pro on us. No trade-in needed. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
Aren't you just a spoonful of sugar?
Young Sheldon, tonight at 11:05. Apple Valley News Now.
Apple Valley News Now continues in prime time. The American Federation of Teachers hosted the AFT Get Out the Vote in Yakima over the weekend. The Washington AFT bus tour is part of a countrywide rally to encourage voting and highlight economic and educational opportunity for all. The bus stopped in Yakima yesterday, which is just one step of a 20-state election bus tour organized by the 1.8 million member organization. Dan Evans, a popular three-term Republican governor of Washington State, has died. He was 98. Evans went on to serve in the U.S. Senate before leaving in frustration because he felt the chamber was too tedious. Now, Evans died on Friday, according to the University of Washington, where he had served as a regent and where the Daniel J. Evans School of Public Policy and Governance bears his name. Turning to news in Northwest Oregon, Northeast Oregon, Morrow County Sheriff's Office deputies say a 14-year-old student from Aragon was arrested for allegedly threatening the Morrow County School District. According to deputies, the student made a shooting threat on social media before getting arrested and booked into a juvenile facility on Sunday. Local police, the FBI, and the school district are now working together on the investigation. Deputies say there are no safety concerns at this time, but the schools will have more law enforcement as a precaution for the rest of this week at the schools. Mabton Mayor Rachel Morales is fighting two separate recall petitions against her. She has appealed the first petition all the way up to the state Supreme Court. Apple Valley News Now's Emily Goodell sat down with the Yakima County Auditor to find out how this affects the timeline for a potential recall election.
Yakima County Auditor Charles Ross tells me that when it comes to appeals on recall petitions, the state Supreme Court tends to move pretty quickly. The petitions each contain separate allegations, but both center on the mayor's failure to adopt a budget for 2024, leaving the city operating without one for over 9 months. The first petition filed by council members now being appealed to the state Supreme Court, with the first batch of documents from the mayor due on Friday.
It's about a 7-step process where you create the record, then each side has an opportunity to provide a brief of why they feel either the recall should be upheld or it should not be upheld.
Most steps taking place on a 30 to 45 day timeline.
When you add them all up, if you were to go at the longest period of each phase of this, it could stretch clear into December.
Or earlier if petitioners bring in a lawyer to help them motion for an accelerated review process. But either way, the last step, a hearing in Olympia for the state Supreme Court to decide whether the appeal should be granted, denied, or the petition modified.
They have the authority and powers to do whatever they want, but I think really the point being on this case, which is interesting, is there's another, recall running right behind recall number 1.
The mayor appearing in Yakima County Superior Court Monday, the judge officially signing off on the second recall petition filed by a city resident. It's unclear yet if the mayor will also file an appeal in that case, but the auditor says either way it shouldn't impact the appeal on the first petition.
I don't think one activity would affect the other because they're treated as two separate recalls. So if she doesn't appeal recall number 2, it's going to move along its scheduled process is the way I see, unless we're told differently by the lawyers or the court.
If the state Supreme Court does end up making a decision before the end of the year and they choose to deny the mayor's appeal, the auditor tells me that the county could still be able to get that recall question on the ballot for February. Reporting from the Yakima Newsroom, Emily Goodell, Apple Valley News Now.
And Emily will stay on this story. Well, before we check in with Stacy, a new hurricane is brewing. John is now officially a hurricane after being upgraded late this afternoon. The National Hurricane Center predicts the storm will be a major hurricane when it makes landfall on Tuesday. Its path in the eastern Pacific Ocean has it heading towards southern Mexico. John went from a minimal tropical storm to a Category 1 hurricane in just 12 hours. Experts predict it will continue to intensify.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Stacy Lee.
And that hurricane pointed directly at one of my favorite vacation spots, Oaxaca, Mexico. Huatuco is the name of the beach there. Very lovely place. All right, 77 degrees, nice warm night, dust level sky cam, nice clear skies, traffic moving along great, winds 6 miles per hour, and our sunset, look at that, well before 7 o'clock now. Let's take a look at the next couple of days ahead, and I'm going to show you this closed level high. It's moving in, that ridge of high pressure slowly moving, and you can see the swirl going to clockwise around our area. That's warm, dry air, and that will persist for at least the next 2 days. Now, as that high makes it on out to the east, things will change pretty drastically, temperature-wise and precip-wise. Let's take a look at our futurecast as we move into Wednesday. That's when you'll see the clouds coming over, the rain hitting the Cascades first, and then coming up through the Dalles, hitting the Yakima and Kittitas valleys. Some scattered showers along the foothills of the Blues. Better chances of rain later in the afternoon down the lower valley, and a slighter chance of of rain here in the Columbia Basin. Walla Walla has a pretty good chance of those showers moving through. Once that gets through, we're going to see cooler and clearing skies outside. Here's your chances of rain for Ellensburg. Again, a good chance, 30% right now, and not expecting a lot of precip, by the way, under a quarter of an inch or so. Yakima, good chance of rain on Wednesday. Again, Tri-Cities, we're 10%, so hit or miss. And taking a look at Walla Walla, better chances of rain there as well at 20%. And again, those water totals not looking to be anything drastic, maybe a 1/10 of an inch for most of our area, a better chance of a quarter of an inch to half an inch of rain in the Cascade Mountains. So that's what it looks like the next few days. So enjoy the warm weather for 2 more days, tomorrow and Wednesday. 50s though, look at that overnight on the cooling side, mid-50s here in the Columbia Basin. And taking a peek at the foothills of the Blues, the upper 50s tonight, with the exception of Pendleton, down to 53. For tomorrow, expect mostly sunny skies, warm with light winds overall, temperatures in the 80s, and some of us hitting the 90s. Walla Walla, Pendleton, Hermiston, Dalles, probably going to hit 90 in the Tri-Cities or just underneath that. So again, nice warm weather as we get into our first full week of fall. Here's what it looks like. We stay in those 80-degree temps for Tuesday, Wednesday. Then we start diving down into the 70s. Take a look, though, at those overnight lows for Friday and Saturday night. We're going to be in the low 40s. That's when you can lose some of your sensitive vegetation, so think vegetable garden. Tri-Cities also going to see those chilly overnight lows on Sunday and Monday night. Taking a look at Ellensburg, we'll see those chilly temps down to 39 between Saturday and Sunday. Those windy conditions and rain on Wednesday, so those active winds 30 to 40 miles an hour. We always get the strong winds in Ellensburg. Breezy winds for Walla Walla. Better chances of rain there, and those cooler overnight lows, you'll really start to feel them at the end of the weekend. Same thing here in Hermiston. 90 degrees, then 80, then we're in the 70s for the rest of the week. So it looks like maybe fall's catching up. Maybe it's taken an extra couple of breathers of summer.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's okay.
That's okay.
All right. Thanks, Stacey. Up next, we're taking a look at your business headlines, including an update on the Boeing strike. Stay with us.
Look, here's a phone company who wants us to use our phones less.
That's ironic.
Yeah, but in a good way. Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us. It's a free ride. But I already paid.
Since 1968, Sundown M Ranch has helped over 200,000 patients and families recover from the effects of substance use disorders.
I was ashamed, humiliated, and not sure if I could be helped, but I listened and found a completely different way to live by spending time at Sundown.
I did not believe there was a way out of the dark hole my life had become. Sundown M Ranch provided a foundation for me to find a new way to live.
Sundown M Ranch. Today is the first day of the rest of your life.
It's game day. Tackle high prices with great deals from Overturf Kia. Get sporty with a tech-savvy, fuel-efficient 2024 Kia Forte sedan, starting at just $19,990. Or get 1.9% interest for up to 48 months. Shop online anytime at overturfkia.com. Overturf Kia at the base of the Blue Bridge in Kennewick.
Create a backyard that's out of this world. Right now, save $50 on the MSA 60 CB battery chainsaw and save $50 on the VGA 57 battery blower. Real STIHL.
There are those who factor and those who don't. Nothing this good comes this easy.
Except Factor.
Fresh, never frozen meals ready in 2 minutes.
Support the Canyon Bloom Petals for Patients Secret Garden fundraiser October 10th from 4 to 8 p.m. Horse and cart valet, live music and line dancing, local food and libations, garden tours and silent auction. To buy tickets and to learn more about our mission, visit canyonblooms.org.
Apple Valley News Now is home to great shows like Shark Tank, Jimmy Kimmel, and Judy Justice.
And I'm just getting started.
And we're home to the #1 news on television, ABC World News Tonight with David Muir, plus award-winning local news, including the First Alert Weather Team. And we lead the way in sports with NFL Monday Night Football, college football, including the SEC, and just added the Seattle Kraken. We're Apple Valley News Now, proudly serving South Central Washington and Northern Oregon, on your side.
U.S. Cellular has the incredible new iPhone 16 Pro.
The first iPhone built for Apple Intelligence.
Spread the word.
And don't forget camera control. It'll blow you away.
Get the new iPhone 16 Pro on us. No trade-in needed. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
Welcome back to Apple Valley News Now in prime time. There is a critical blood shortage right now across the country, so the Red Cross is hosting mobile blood drives across the area from La Grande all the way to Yakima over the next 3 weeks. Anyone can donate, and the process takes just about 30 minutes to complete. The organization says they are especially in need of type O blood. Donated blood gets transported to Red Cross facilities and will eventually make its way to patients in need. Now, we were at today's drive-in in Kennewick at the Kennewick Irrigation District headquarters.
It's a lot easier for the public to come donate when we do mobile drives, especially when we do businesses like this. A lot of people that work 9 to 5s can't get away from their job long enough to drive to whatever centers there are, so it gives the people an opportunity to come donate when they otherwise wouldn't.
Now, the drive is set up at a different location each day. Information about where to donate, appointments, and how to get involved can be found online at redcross.org. We have some business headlines for you tonight. Boeing has issued a new offer to 33,000 machinists and union members who have been on strike for 11 days. The revised offer includes an immediate 12% raise and a 30% raise over the 4-year life of the contract. Before the strike began, union members rejected an offer of an immediate 11% raise and 25% over the life of the contract. The union has not yet commented on the new offer. And Alaska Airlines grounded flights in Seattle due to significant disruptions from a technology issue. Airline officials did not specify what the issue was. This happened last night. Now, the problem was finally fixed around 10:11 p.m. In a statement from the airline, they advised travelers to check on their flight status before leaving for the airport, and they asked if you could even change or cancel your flight too. Well, just like this, outdoor fall cleanup is in full swing.
That's right. Using the right tools can make back-breaking jobs much easier and much faster. Consumer Reports tests dozens of these tools every year, so you don't have to fall for the ones that fail.
As summer winds down, homeowner Alex Joyce prepares for fall. His tool of choice, a leaf blower.
So we got 3 acres, lots of trees, lots of leaves. Fall is challenging.
After hours of rigorous testing, Consumer Reports experts know all about what makes a good leaf blower. Testers weigh and strategically pile leaves into a designated area. Then a timer is set to see how long each blower takes to clear the pile. Sear says it's also important to consider how much each leaf blower weighs and whether it's comfortable to use.
The heaviest models we've tested weigh nearly twice as much as the lightest ones, and that can make a huge difference even after just a few minutes.
At under 7 pounds, this battery-powered scale is relatively lightweight and costs nearly half the price of some other recommended leaf blowers. A chainsaw can be a handy tool if you've got bigger branches or even tree limbs to tackle. CR times how fast each chainsaw cuts through a 10-inch square oak beam. Some saws are faster than others, but fast isn't great if it's not safe.
Chainsaws for a number of safety features, for things like kickback when cutting, but we also just look for some really basic things like whether it comes with a cover for the blade.
CR says you can cut fast and safely with this battery-powered Cenex. Pressure washers can make light work of heavy-duty cleaning, but if you don't use them correctly, you risk damaging paint, wood, stone, and even yourself. That's especially true when it comes to the narrowest nozzle.
Third-degree nozzles pose an unnecessary risk, which is why we say if you buy a pressure washer that comes with one, just toss it out.
This is Teresa Hope.
All right, still ahead on Apple Valley News Now in prime time. Stacy and I will have a recap of the 2024 Sausage Fest in Richland. I don't know who that guy is, but we'll find out next.
Judy Justice.
And I'm just getting started.
Weekdays at 4 on Apple Valley News Now.
In the ICU, I see patients suffering from asthma and lung disease. So the fact that Initiative 2117 would mean more toxic air pollution in Washington is unacceptable for my patients and their health. 2117 is a bad deal for Washington.
Hi, my name is Marcos. I've been riding Vanpool for 5 years. Let's go.
Why do I use BFD Vanpool?
Vanpool saves me on my commute.
I use Vanpool because it reduces wear and tear on my personal vehicles.
I'm a medical, and I've been riding Vanpool for 4 years.
I love doing my part to reduce traffic.
Vanpool is my tax dollars at work.
This is why I use BFD Vanpool.
To find out how Vanpool can change your commute, give us a call or visit bft.org.
Welcome to Fable Craft Bar, your next favorite place to experience. Be inspired by our stylish and locally crafted culinary delights. Join us Tuesdays for all-you-can-eat fish and chips, weekend brunch and football, Bookwalter wines, local beer, and signature cocktails. Savor the flavors of our delicious food to captivate your senses. Fable Craft Bar, stop for a bite, or bring delicious home with Uber Eats or DoorDash. 1705 Columbia Park Trail.
I've always had an eye for opportunity. As a kid, I was hustling, selling candy, mowing lawns, you name it. That drive never left me. The first time I tasted crumble, it was clear to me this was more than just a cookie. From that moment, I knew this was a chance to bring the taste of something new to our neighborhood. But I couldn't do it alone. That's where Happel came in. With their support, I was able to secure the loan that brought crumble to our community. Where do you credit union?
What if you never had to worry about what you could do? Because you could do anything. What if all the things that get in your way were gone? So the only thing left was possibility. If anywhere could be the center of everywhere, and boundaries only existed to be pushed. If every single drop of potential could be made real. So the only limit you faced was how big you could dream. And say you knew there were like almost 100,000 people across the country, right in your town, committed to making that happen. Every day. What would you do then? Some pretty cool stuff, I bet. Yeah, that'd be some life. That'd be life unlimited.
When your child has asthma, every day you worry about the next attack. So the fact that Initiative 2117 would mean more toxic air pollution makes it out of the question for me. 2117 is a bad deal for Washington.
It's early fall on the St. Joe River in northern Idaho.
There's a great hiking spot. This is a high-class fly fishing river.
An amazing fly the Northwest.
Couldn't get anywhere more beautiful.
Apple Valley News Now, Tuesday at 6.
Coming up tomorrow on Good Morning Northwest, crime in downtown Kennewick has been affecting local businesses, and business owners are not happy. We'll have an in-depth report on what the city of Kennewick is doing about it. That's coming up tomorrow morning right here on Good Morning Northwest.
All right, we have some fun stories for you tonight. Now, Friday, you were out at the 2024 Sausage Fest in Richland.
That's right. We did the weather there, met lots of cool people, had a good time. It was packed, and the weather was perfect.
See, yeah, I guess it was. Here was my issue. There I am. That's my daughter, Mackenzie.
Oh.
So I did the dunk tank. You can see I've got both hands.
She did it. Why didn't it go?
I don't know.
And then, there. There, look at her. I love how she jumps up and down. And
she was so excited. Riley Fitzgerald was out there on Saturday as well. She got dunked a number of times. Oh, you know what was crazy is I lost my wedding ring.
Uh-oh.
And so then Riley's husband came because he used to be a lifeguard.
Oh.
So he
dove in.
He dove in. He found it for me. So thank you. Shout out to Delton. But it was a lot of fun. It was just very, very cold. Now, my other daughter, Madison, she got me as well.
Okay.
I don't remember if he helped her as well, but they both got me.
You have video evidence there.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So
good job, ladies.
That was fun. Another thing that we're talking about, this is in Massachusetts. It was the running of the bulls New England style. This happened over the weekend.
Well, you started telling me about this, and I thought, well, they do it every year in Barcelona. You're like, no, not Barcelona. But like the famous event on the streets of Spain, this was completely by accident. Here's ABC's Lionel Moyes.
Things got wild Sunday at the rodeo in North Attleboro, Massachusetts. 8 bulls escaping their enclosure at a local mall and running through the city streets.
There's 6 bulls on the loose on our street. And here come the cowboys.
The enormous escapees making their way to a residential neighborhood.
As soon as I stepped out and I looked over there, and I was like, those aren't horses. Those are literally bulls, and oh my God.
Chris Mooney was at home when he noticed the bulls in his backyard.
So I got all my dogs from outside, brought them inside real quick. The kids are inside, safety first, and that was it. Everybody else just started coming, as much people as you can.
Ranch hands carried out metal fences to corral the animals, working with local police and volunteers to steer them into a transport vehicle. 7 bulls were packed into this tractor trailer and safely removed from Mooney's backyard.
It took about 4 hours to corner them, but overnight, 1 bull was still unaccounted for. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Can you imagine?
No.
I mean, I see squirrels and the occasional cat in my backyard, but a bunch of bulls, no.
And, you know, what I loved about that story is the cowboys, cowgirls came to the rescue.
Where did they find the cowboys? In Massachusetts? Like
They're
around
there,
here,
apparently.
I get it, but in Massachusetts, they have a bunch of cowboys? Who knew?
Incredible. All right, well, we have some time for final weather, and take it away.
Our weather photo of the day, something we always wait for, another beauty from our friend Bernie. Look at that. It's a sunset over Rattlesnake in Yakima River. Said this was on Friday night. And I have noticed some beautiful sunsets, that orange and the pinks at night. So get outside, snap those photos, and you can get yours on television. That QR code on the right side of your screen, use your smartphone, take a snap of that, and upload your photo, or just go to applevalleynewsnow.com, click on the weather tab. That'll take you to the landing page. There's also a gallery there of all of our weather photos that get sent in. Not all of them get on the air, but they're all in the photo album. Awesome. So go check those out. All right, another cool thing I did over the weekend, you remember yesterday was Ironman, and they had a swimming portion of it, and this is pretty cool. Time lapse of the sunrise yesterday in Richland. Our camera captured it. Here's the boat pulling in. There's the big cruise ship. Look at all the buoys. All that activity. That was the Ironman racers. I don't know if this was the end of the course or the beginning, but all those folks on that cruise ship had a pretty good view of all those Ironman contestants. So good job there, guys. Loved that. So cool stuff.
Very
Again,
cool.
time-lapse camera there, and that sunrise at 6:45. All right, let's plan your day for tomorrow. We're looking at mostly sunny skies. Oh, I got to click the button. There you go. Temperatures, again, a little cool in the morning. I feel like a light sweater, light jacket in the morning, peel it off by midday. Tomorrow and the next day are going to be pretty warm. Tomorrow being the warmest, where we could see temperatures above 90 in several cities. Pretty close to it in the Tri-Cities near 89. Yakima hitting 85, 86, and Walla Walla should hit 90, maybe even 91 or 2 degrees. So very, very warm as we get outdoors tomorrow. Things are going to change, though. Here you can tell by our planning forecast. We have some hazy conditions in the area, and those 80-degree temps. Now, this is the first official week of fall. Summer said, I'm going to hang on for a couple more days, so we'll have that till Wednesday. And then those temperatures get a little more mild and comfortable right around where they should be in the 70s there through the end of the week. Now, rainfall-wise, good chance of that in Yakima. It's hit or miss Tri-Cities, maybe a 10% of that here, and we're not expecting a lot of accumulation from this first round. Although, looking through the weekend, it's looking pretty nice, actually. So fall is turning out to be once again good. Not only is there pumpkin spice everything everywhere, we've got those cooler temperatures. Now, the big news, of course, also are those overnight lows are starting to get low. And I know when I was out walking the dogs at our favorite park, the Grange Park in Kennewick, they've got a huge vegetable garden there. And I noticed that most of the stuff is getting harvested. But as we get those overnight lows that could be dangerous to those sensitive plants, I feel like people should get out there and either protect those or start harvesting your final gardening before we get to the end of the week. So that's my best advice.
All right, love it. Hey, thank you so much for joining us for this special primetime edition of Apple Valley News Now after the NFL. You can find the latest at applevalleyNewsNow.com. I'm Austin Reed with Stacey Lee, hoping your news is good news.
See you back here at 11.
Yep.